Every AI trade you're making right now has a missing piece. And it's not a chip. It's not a model. It's not bandwidth. It's power. AI runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't stop when the sun goes down. It doesn't pause when the wind drops. And the only power source on the planet that runs continuously, at scale, without fail, is nuclear. Bloomberg just released numbers that change how you trade both the AI build-out and the entire energy sector. Global nuclear capacity is going from 372 gigawatts to 535 gigawatts by 2036. That's a 44% increase, and it's already in motion. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why AI cracked the 15-year nuclear stalemate. You'll know which countries are winning that build-out race and by how much. And you'll know what trade vehicles let you position in front of this before mainstream capital reprices it. If you miss this, you'll keep trading AI as a chip and software story. You'll watch uranium futures, nuclear ETFs, and energy contracts underneath every AI data center run without you. Here's the fundamental problem with solar and wind when it comes to AI. They're intermittent. The sun doesn't always shine. The wind doesn't always blow. And the data center can't work around that. When you've got tens of thousands of GPUs running model inference around the clock, you need guaranteed power. Every hour, every day, no exceptions. That's what engineers call base load power, and intermittent renewables don't deliver it. So tech companies went looking for a power source that does. And what they found was nuclear. Microsoft didn't just talk about it. They signed a deal to restart 3 Mile Island. Google followed with nuclear reactor power purchase agreements. Amazon is doing the same. These aren't ESG moves. These are infrastructure decisions. The hyperscalers are telling you directly what they need to keep AI running. Grid operators across the country are already logging demand spikes they haven't seen in decades. And the AI build-out is barely getting started. Here's what Bloomberg said directly. Nuclear has been running in place since Fukushima in 2011. 15 years, flat. The global nuclear industry didn't grow, and then AI showed up and broke that stalemate. AI infrastructure needs guaranteed power, and nuclear is the only source that delivers it at scale. The trade you think you're in, AI infrastructure, has a power layer underneath it that the market hasn't fully priced yet. It's a tech infrastructure trade dressed up in a power sector costume. So who's moving fastest to fill that demand gap? The answer is not the country you think it is. When you think China energy, you think coal. China burns more coal than any other country on Earth. But that completely misses what China is actually doing on nuclear. Because China doesn't pick one energy type and commit to it. China buys every ticket. This year, 2026, China is turning on 7 new nuclear reactors. Not breaking ground, not planning, turning them on. By 2036, China's nuclear capacity goes from 59 gigawatts to 102 gigawatts. That makes China the #1 nuclear nation on the planet. Now flip to the United States. We have 1 commercial nuclear power plant under construction. 1. The country that invented commercial nuclear power has 1 plant in the pipeline right now. Meanwhile, China is building solar, building wind, building coal, and building nuclear simultaneously. They're not making a bet on one energy type. They're making an all-in capacity bet on all of them. And on nuclear, they're lapping us. The US falling behind here isn't just a policy failure. It's a competitive realignment that's already happened. China just rewired the global nuclear hierarchy. And most traders are still reading China as a coal play. That's the gap in the market's understanding. But this isn't just about China. There's another number that tells you this is a global trade. And the number is 204 billion. India just committed 204 billion to nuclear expansion. They're taking capacity from 8.8 gigawatts today to 100 gigawatts by 2047. That's not an aspiration. That's sovereign capital already deployed. India is rebuilding its entire energy base at a scale that rivals the full nuclear capacity of the United States. 372 gigawatts of global nuclear capacity today, 535 gigawatts by 2036, a 44% increase. China coming in at 104 gigawatts, India writing 9-figure checks. And in the US, the Trump administration is pushing hard for domestic nuclear expansion. So the political tailwind is there, even if the construction pipeline is still thin. Here's what matters for timing. This build-out isn't evenly spread across 10 years. Reactors already under construction come online in the next 24 to 36 months. The front loading is real, and uranium supply hasn't kept pace with this demand signal. You've got a demand surge hitting a constrained supply picture. That's a structural setup, not a sentiment trade. 3 major economies, $204 billion in committed capital, a 44% capacity growth that's already funded and under construction. This thesis isn't speculative. The question isn't whether this happens. The question is whether you're positioned before the repricing. So let's talk about where the actual opportunities are and why the window to get in front of this is open right now, not in 2 years. Here's where most traders are sitting right now. They're in NVIDIA, they're in hyperscalers. Some are running energy plays, but they haven't connected the power infrastructure layer that runs directly between those two trades. That's the gap. On the equity side, NLR and URNM are the primary nuclear ETFs. NLR gives you diversified exposure across reactor operators and utilities. URNM tilts toward uranium miners, higher beta, more direct commodity exposure. And watch the hyperscaler PPA announcements. Every time Microsoft, Google, or Amazon signs a new nuclear power agreement, it's a catalyst the market hasn't fully priced. Those are your entries. The mainstream narrative is still treating this as an energy transition story. It's not. It's an AI infrastructure story. You came in asking whether AI changes the nuclear trade. Here's the answer. AI didn't just change the trade. AI funded it. Tech giants signing nuclear PPAs cracked a 15-year plateau. China, India, and the US are now in a build-out race that's already printing catalysts. Uranium is supply constrained into a 44% demand surge. Traders who hold the infrastructure frame get into a 10-year build-out cycle right now, while the majority is still using the wrong map. You now understand why AI didn't just change the nuclear trade, it funded it. Tech giants signing PPAs cracked a 15-year plateau, and you're holding a 10-year build-out thesis while most of the market is still reading it through the wrong lens. But knowing this story isn't the same as knowing what price is actually doing right now, or when this narrative actually becomes tradable. Here's what understanding this information also doesn't give you: the truth about the direction of price. It gives you a narrative, and narratives matter, but price is what tells you whether this narrative is true or not. The measured move is a framework for knowing the direction of price. It tells you whether this bullish narrative is being confirmed by price or not. If you act on a story like this without that framework, you could be on the wrong side of a trade for days, weeks, or even months until price confirms it. That framework is what I teach. The traders in my community don't chase bullish narratives. They know what price has to do to confirm the story. And until it does, until price structure supports it, they're not in a trade just because a narrative is compelling. They wait for the setup. They have a process for knowing when it's there. That's the process I teach every day at eminiaddict.com.